So what is the greatest pleasure? Don't we all want pleasure? Well, after a long life, well, not that long, but you know what? I'm turning 57 in a few months. This is the secret of what I discover is my greatest pleasure that I hope to keep through my golden years and beyond. And that is to feel at my greatest, to thrive in me and feel the very best of me at all times. What is the point of going through the motions of life if you get up and you're in pain and your emotions are not just sitting right and your mood is not in the right place and you're not enjoying your life and you're not thriving, doing whatever it is that you love to do? So the conclusion I came in my life is that the greatest pleasure there is at any cost is to feel at my greatest, to have an excellent life where I have self-mastery, self-discipline, and I'm controlling my inner environment in spite of what's going on around the erratic journey around me. Life is a journey and there's many ups and downs and bumps. If I told you how many times I fall and I bruised and I had abandonment issues and I had, anorexia when I was in my teenage years that I had to overcome, and we left my country from dictatorship to embrace freedom, and I had to change my language, my culture, my music. All that was not easy, but guess what? Through the process, I learned that I'm not the outside circumstances, and who I am, I have control of. And that connection, that vertical connection with that spirituality, that source of existence, that connection with the universal oneness that surrounds us so that we can feel whole and complete at all times in spite of the chaotic world around us, is so powerful. So I'm here to tell you that you should put it to the test and see if you decide to just postpone for a moment that ice cream or whatever activity is not supporting your wellness long term and your optimal state of excellence in your life. If you can postpone that action just consciously for a few minutes and instead replace it with something that supports your well-being and gives you long-term pleasure instead of temporary short-term pleasure. That's the difference. One is long-lasting. One leads to inner and outer fulfillment, while the other one leaves us empty after a while. So I can give you an example. I can crave a whole bowl of ice cream, which by the way, I don't have because I'm raw vegan, but I can make an ice cream with bananas, frozen bananas and almonds and dates or whatever. However, if I'm not hungry and I just want it because I want that fix in the middle of the afternoon, I just say, okay, I can have all the ice cream, not ice cream in my case, we already discussed that, but all the shakes I want or whatever it is I'm craving. However, before, I'm going to jump a few times up and down. I'm going to take some deep breaths in through my nose, out through my mouth. Let it out. And I just, if this is hard for you, you can just write on top of the ice cream bowl, take 10 deep breaths, or in front of your credit card, take deep breaths before you spend all your money on this dress that you don't need. You have already 20 of them hanging in your closet, or whatever is your fix that gives you that short-term pleasure. And try this out first. And if it doesn't work, you still get the dress, you still get the ice cream as much as you want. But this may work for you. So think about it. Try it. Put it to the test. There's nothing to lose. Life is like this journey where we can fall as many times as we need to. But what I've discovered, I'm just sharing tips that have worked for me, is that I absolutely enjoy feeling as much pleasure as possible from mindful choices that support not just my health right now in this moment, in my body, in my mind, in my emotions, the thoughts I put in my mind, the emotions in my heart and my physical body, but also that those short-term goals support my long-term goal. I don't know how many years I'm going to live. Once I was doing a mining conference, interpretation, and it was all males, and they're like, I'm eating my salad, and Stella says, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Of course, I said. And they said, how many years do you want to live in your life anyways? And I said, I don't care. I can die today. I would like to have a long quality life, but what I'm focusing on is my consistent fulfillment and well-being today that supports my long-term longevity. And if I make it to be those golden years, Excellent. Hopefully I have, unless I have a terrible disease or a diagnosis, which I do have, osteoporosis, for example, I'm hoping that I can enjoy myself with quality of life. So I said, I don't care. I'm not trying. I'm not doing this because I want to live a long life. Yes, of course I do, but I'm doing it because I want to feel great today. When, our lunch is over and they were all having like excess amounts of food of every kind, desserts and everything you can imagine. Well, I had to keep working and I needed my brain to be sharp. So what I discovered is that by eating light, nutritiously dense food, I could conserve the energy. It will nourish my body and my cells, but also would give me energy to keep going for the day. They would all almost sleep the next half day of the conference because they were tired. All their energy was going towards their digestion. So that's the proposition. That's the offer, the invitation. Try, put it to the test. Something that gives you not just short-term pleasure, but that supports your long-term fulfillment, and see how it goes. Because if that works for you and you can have long-term pleasure and feel that excellence of the ordinary and the extraordinary in the ordinary, I guarantee you that you're going to feel that you're thriving being you. And if I do that and we do it together, we have a rippling effect in the world, and together we can build a beautiful world. So I trust that you're going to try it out and see how it works, and then feel free to comment below, subscribe, share with others. And in the meantime, I thank you for watching, and I wish you love, peace, namaste.